Hello friends, I am back on live again. I'm going to share with you a couple more Christmas cards today from our Plaid Tidings bundle. So I just love this bundle and this paper pack for all the beautiful plaid that comes with it. It's hard to beat plaid. I love this plaid because it really covers all the seasons as well. So this plaid includes plaid that I think is Christmas theme, but it also includes plaid that is very fall, and there's some plaid that's very summery. Definitely some great plaids for Valentine's as well, and I'll show you that here in just a little bit when we're finished. So the first card we're going to make is kind of this, I love it because it's, rustic's probably not the right word, but it uses the plaids and this embroidered, beautiful embroidered ribbon here as well. So sharing that with you tonight. So we're going to start by building that one, and we're going to use the Celebration Tidings stamp set for that, and we're going to use the coordinating dies. They're called the Celebration Label dies, and I just have to show you these because they're amazing. The really cool thing about these dies, and I've got one of them over here, is of course you've got this really beautiful edging that is, it's just fun, right? Fun different type of edging. But if you actually cut these out and fold them in half, they also make really great gift packaging. So they're really good for if you're making some cute little party favors or anything like that. You've got these great dies to be able to do that with as well. And then you've got all these little embellishments that come with it. So you're able to cut out your little spider or your hearts or these little leaves, and then that coordinates with the Celebrations Tidings stamp set. So I love this. This is probably one of my favorite bundles. I used it a bunch. Our August card kit is all based around this stamp set because you can get such a variety. You've got your fall and your pumpkins, you've got your Valentine, you've got your spiders for Halloween, which is always super fun. And so that's the Celebration Tidings, and I'll show you that as an entire kit. So you can actually purchase the whole suite of products with it, which is really neat. So we're going to start by making our card with crumb cake. I love crumb cake. It's just such a pretty color. It's kind of that universal color. It reminds me of craft, a lot of like a craft paper. Just the standard brown that is so great to use because everything can go on top of it, right? So we've got this, and we're going to take those dies, those Celebration dies we were just looking at, and we're going to start by cutting one out in our shaded spruce green. And then we're going to cut another one out of our beautiful plaid paper. So again, isn't that gorgeous? I love the black and white on the back. Like, it's just super universal. So I cut this out, and I wanted to show you the way I cut it out. I can actually cut the edge here and make this its own border. So if I wanted to, I could come back and actually use maybe that as a frame on my card or on a different card. So I always save these because I find that if I put the die in the center, I can use them again for some other project. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some adhesive on this piece, and we're going to adhere this plaid right into the center of the shaded spruce. Try and line up the little edges there. There we go. And then we're going to stick that right on top of our card base. So it doesn't have to be complicated. I feel like if you have layering dies, it's so great because they allow you to do so many different things on your card fronts. Layering dies are probably my favorite. I have circles and squares and rectangles and all kinds of different layering dies. Stampin' Up! Really does do a nice job of making a really nice collection of those. Now again, because we're using the Celebration Tidings, we're actually going to use the Merry Christmas from here. Now I think it's cute because there's like a little flourish you could use. I think these remind me of Christmas, these holly berries. You could color them in so that they're more Christmassy type colors. So lots of really great uses for this stamp set too. So we're going to take the Merry Christmas. They are clear polymer stamps, so that's nice too. I love to be able to see where I'm stamping. And I'm going to take my Cherry Cobbler. So this paper has that shaded spruce in it, but it also has that really pretty Cherry Cobbler. And we're going to use that Cherry Cobbler ink. And we're just going to stamp Merry Christmas right in the center of our die cut. And all I did was the same set, I just die cut the smallest one using Whisper White. And I stamped that right in the center. Just gonna wipe off my stamp real quick. Put that ink pad away. And now I'm gonna take, actually I'm gonna go ahead and pop that on, and then we'll add everything else later. So we're gonna add this right to kind of the right hand center-ish area. We're gonna use Stampin' Dimensionals again. And these are our foam adhesives, and they're double-sided. So what's awesome about those is they're gonna pop up your card, just help it stand up, whatever you put on here, and give it a little bit of dimension. Make sure I put that on the correct way. Nobody wants an upside-down Christmas. And I'm just kind of lining it up with the plaid paper. I lined the plaid paper up pretty well, so I know wherever I put that, it's going to line up really well with that. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to use some of our ribbon. This is, it's called embroidered ribbon. And it's hard to see. Hopefully you guys can see that on the camera. But it's got these tones of brown in it, and kind of the very vanilla, and then sort of those brown tones that remind me of what can I think of the name right now? Of our crumb cake cardstock. I'm going blank. Must be getting late. How are you guys doing tonight? Thanks for staying up with me. Thanks for joining us. Remember to comment, say hello, say hi. That's going to get you another entry into our drawing. And we're going to be giving away a ton of fun stuff tonight. We've also got a few more giveaways throughout the week. So you have until Wednesday to close this party out, when all the specials will be closing out. So do make sure you check that specials page. Go back and check, if you're just joining us, go back and check those Facebook posts. If you're joining us on YouTube, thank you for watching. And make sure and check your email. If you're not on my email list, make sure you comment and send, check that link that says join my email list, and I'll make sure you're on our email list so you can get all the updates. I'm going to go ahead and just cut, I made a bow out of our ribbon, and I'm just going to cut the edges, trim them so they're equal-ish. That'll work. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive and stick my bow down right there. A lot of times I'll use glue dots for this. So we've got mini glue dots that we have available, and they're great for sticking things like bows down. They adhere pretty well to that type of fabric. So I'm just going to kind of put that in the corner. Merry Christmas. And then to really glam it up, because I think it just needs a little bit of sparkle, we're going to use our Wonderful Gems. Wonderful Gems, definitely wonderful. You have two sets that come with it, and you could get a whole sheet. I've just used a bunch of them. But you have one that is this sparkly, gorgeous red, and then you have another that is gold. And they're clear, but they actually look like they're filled with little gold sparkles. So gorgeous. That's Wonderful Gems. And I'm going to use my little Picket tool here. And I'm just going to put like one big one, and then maybe two of the little ones just kind of scattered. And now we've got our Christmas card. So super simple card. I think with this set, you just have a lot of variety. You can use these in a million different ways. I love the edging on here. So that's our first card today. Our second card we're gonna make, and we're gonna do a throwback again to one of the stamp sets that came out in last year's holiday catalog, but carried over to this current year's annual catalog. And so it's one of my favorites. Let me show you. This is called Perfectly Plaid. So Perfectly Plaid is awesome. I use this all the time. My Poor Stamp Set is well loved, as you can see, because it's one of my favorites. Now it does have a coordinating punch. The punch is sold separate, and this is the Pine Tree Punch. Our punches are great because they have a lock system in them, and so they lay flat, so they're not this big bulky thing you're having to store, but you do have to open it to use it, and we'll be using that in just a little bit. And then for this card, we're also using one of the ornate borders. So this is another die set. You don't have to use this one. I just thought it gave it a little bit of pop. And this is also available in the current catalog, and it's just a ton of different borders, mostly floral, but the one we're using today is just this straight edge that gives it a nice little ruching kind of on the side. So I went ahead and pre-cut, because I know how I like to talk, a bunch of these. And this is our gorgeous Cherry Cobbler cardstock, and it's a 8.5 by 11 sheet. All we did was cut it in half, so it's 8.5 by 4.5 or 4.25. And we're just going to fold that in half for our card base. I'm using a bone folder just to go over the edge to give it a nice sharp crisp edge. Then it folds really nice and flat. Then we're going to go ahead and cut some of that plaid cardstock. So the same cardstock we used before, that same designer paper we just used, I'm going to go ahead and cut that to 2.25 by 5.25. And I'm going to cut this little piece of shaded spruce, and I went ahead and ran it through our die cut machine, so you can see it has this cute little edging on it. That was that die I just showed you. And this is cut to 5.25 by 1/2. And all I'm going to do with this now is I'm going to layer them together. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue. I'm going to put that on the edge of my shaded spruce piece. And I'm going to lay my designer paper right on top of it. And again, because I'm using glue, I have a little bit of wiggle room here, so I can kind of pull it and wiggle it for a few seconds. I noticed this is cut just a little bit longer than my other piece, so I'm just going to use some scissors and trim that off. You could use your straight edge as well, but there we go. There, trimmed it a little more. All right, and now I've got those matching together. So now I'm going to add them to my card front. When I do that, I want to make sure I have the same amount of room on the left side and then the two top sides. And I'm just going to use our Stampin' Seal adhesive. Make sure I get a good amount of adhesive on there so it sticks real nice. And I'm going to line that up. Again, trying to make sure I have the same amount of room, top and bottom, and stick that down. Then I'm going to cut myself a piece of Whisper White cardstock. That Whisper White cardstock is 3 by 1.5, so 3 inches by 1.5 inches. And I'm going to pull out this shaded spruce ink, and I'm going to go ahead and do our sentiment. So our sentiment for this card is Merry Christmas, and it's this gorgeous font. Just reminds me of Christmas when I use it. So we're going to stamp that to the right hand side because we're going to layer some trees on there as well. So I've got that stamped. Then I'm going to take a piece of shaded spruce, and you can tell it's just a piece of scratch paper. And I'm going to use one of the Christmas trees from the set. And I'm going to go ahead and use shaded spruce right on top of shaded spruce. I know, they don't get lost though. It really does give it a nice effect. There you go. So you can see, it does show up that darker color. It almost shows up like a darker color, and that tone on tone, which I love that look. I love using the same color on top of the same color of paper. I just think it gives it a nice look. And then we're going to do one more tree, and we're going to do the plaid tree. How fitting for this plaid set and all of this plaid paper we're using. We're going to go ahead and use the plaid tree and use this cherry cobbler again. And we're just stamping right in the center there. Just on some piece of cardstock that I, kind of a scratch paper there. And I'll put that away so I don't end up with my finger in it. And then we're going to use our punch. So the cool thing about our punches is you actually use them upside down. So you're going to go ahead and insert your tree, line it up as best you can here. And it's going to have a little edge of white on it. That's perfectly fine. And then you're going to go ahead and just press, and that'll pop right out. It's a really easy press. If you do have issues with your hands though, and you need to like maybe use your whole palm to press down, you can. You can just lay it flat on the table and press from there. So if you have arthritis or carpal tunnel or anything with your hands, that's an easy way to do it too. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out our little tree here. Super cute. Get rid of that paper. And we're gonna layer these little guys right on top of our sentiment so we can put those on the card front. So I'm gonna start with my little red tree, my plaid tree. I'm gonna kind of pop that up on the edge here. And then I'm gonna layer this shaded spruce tree right on top as well. There we go. And then when we put them on, we're gonna use some Stampin' Dimensionals again. Pop it up, give it some life. Make sure you use a little on the trees too, so they don't get lost. All right. And then, got Stampin' Dimensionals all over stuck to me right now. Try and put those back. We're just gonna peel the backs off and stick those down onto our card front. So you've created 2 Christmas cards now with this gorgeous plaid paper. Super fun paper. So I'm gonna show you where you can find that in our catalog. There we go. Love, love, love this paper. So here is the new mini catalog. This is August to December 2020 mini catalog. I call it the holiday catalog. It'll always probably be the holiday catalog to me because it comes out just in time for the holidays. So this set that we just used is from our Plaid Tidings collection. Now the cool thing about this collection in particular is you can actually get everything we used today. So the dies, the ribbon, and the plaid paper all come as a collection together. That collection together is $65.25, and that's a discount off purchasing them separate. So if you purchase them separate, you would actually be paying more. You're receiving the 10% bundling discount by going ahead and purchasing all 3 together. So one of my favorites. Look at all that gorgeous plaid paper. I mean, you've got pinks in there for Halloween. You've got, or Halloween, Valentine's. You've got these purples and blacks in there for Halloween. You've got gorgeous yellows and oranges for fall. reds and greens for Christmas. I mean, you can't beat it. Every color of plaid you can imagine is there. You get 4 sheets of double-sided 6x6 paper in each of the designs. So you're getting a bunch of paper too. It's a really good value. And then of course the stamps that we used today and the dies we used, as well as that gorgeous embroidered ribbon that we used as well, all comes as part of that collection. Gotta love it. All right, so I'm gonna show you one more card before we're out of here. Guess I should check and see how I'm doing on time. Oh, yeah, I'm all right. So I wanted to show you one more card, and I love, love, love this card. So it's simple, but it really packs a punch, right? It's this gorgeous, gorgeous fall card. And the neat thing about this card is I actually didn't use any ink on this card at all. It's all paper and embellishments. Or it's all paper and ribbon, and then I created my own embellishments using the die set that comes with it. So this is the Gather Together bundle, and it comes with the Gather Together stamps and the Gathering Leaves dies. And these dies are amazing. There is so much detail in these leaves here. So I used the leaves to create this. Now it also has the outline stamps, which are nice, so you can cut out your pumpkins that you stamp or your big leaf that you stamp as well. And it's so pretty. One of my very favorite sets. So to make this card, we actually start with our Cajun Craze card base. And again, we're just taking 8.5 by 11 inch paper and cutting it in half. And so it's 8.5 by 4 1/4. And then we're gonna just fold it in half. And again, I use my bone folder just to get a nice tight seam there. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut myself a piece of vanilla, very vanilla cardstock, and that's cut to 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then the tricky part, we're going to cut out all this designer series paper. So not too tricky, but that definitely takes the longest. So we're going to cut out 2 different kinds of designer series paper, and this is from one of our autumn collections. Now, you'll notice that one of our show specials is that you get a card kit. Well, this is one of the card kits that you get. I've actually pre-done all of this for you, including the leaves. So you'll have it all ready to go as part of the card kit that you get if you place a $25 order with us. So you're going to get 3 different cards, and this will be one of them. So you can't beat that. These are such beautiful cards. All right, we're going to take... And I've already gone ahead and done the embossing on the leaves. Now this paper here is our brushed metallic cardstock. And I'm going to show you that in the catalog in just a minute. It is gorgeous. And it coordinates so beautifully with our paper. Now all the paper is pre-cut for you, but I will post all the dimensions online on our blog so you can see exactly how to put this together as well. So we're going to start by just taking our pieces and putting them together. I like to visualize it first. So I like to put them down and kind of get a sense of where everything is going to go before I glue it down. It's just going to help you kind of see if there's too much room. Like right now I think there's too much room on the top, so I'm just going to move those up a little and try and give it the same amount of room on each side. So the border on the bottom and around the edges is going to be thicker than the border on the inside. I'm going to start with the biggest piece, and I'm going to put adhesive on that piece. And again, the trick when you're doing this is to lay it out first and then just do it one piece at a time. And if you do it one piece at a time, by the time you're finished, they will all be even. We hope. All right, so I'm going to start with that piece, and then I'm going to do the next bottom piece here. And again, I'm leaving a lot more room on the outside and less room on the inside. So I don't want there to be too much of a border on the inside. another piece. And the last piece here. And do check and make sure they're all going the same direction. That's another area I tend to get tripped up on. Put things on upside down on accident. All right, there you go. So you've got those all together. Now we're gonna take this gorgeous ribbon. This ribbon is from our Forever Greenery trim, and it actually comes with 2 ribbons. So it comes with this gold, and then it comes with this really beautiful white ribbon as well. Well, kind of a vanilla ribbon. It's kind of a cream color. We're gonna take and wrap this around twice and then make our bow. And we're gonna have our bow kind of go to the left again. For some reason I always tend to go to the left. I'm not sure why that is. Oh, thank you, Becky. Yeah, the nail polish is fun, right? This is Color Street. I'm a big fan. I was gonna try and do something Christmassy for tonight, and honestly, I just ran out of time. Does that happen? I was gonna try and do some like reds and golds and I don't know, sparklies, something Christmassy. I just lost track of time. We had leadership conference today, which was awesome. So Stampin' Up! Held their leadership conference online, which, you know, sounds a little odd. We were supposed to be in New Orleans this weekend for a leadership conference, so I'm kind of glad that's not where we ended up. But it was really neat to be able to connect with everybody online and learn so much. It was a really great conference. So that's what I've been doing all day. Oh, I hear my family home. Let me close the door really quick so they know I'm online. We're gonna go ahead and layer these together. So we're gonna start with the largest in this beautiful brass color. And we're gonna kind of layer it behind. And then we're gonna layer this Cajun Craze one. And again, these are just right from the dies. They're so pretty. They're pre-embossed. It just does such a nice job. I love these dies. And then I actually did the other one right on top. So I'm gonna use a Stampin' Dimensional right on top of the leaf here. And I'm just gonna layer this one right on top of our bow. So they're all layered in together. And then we're gonna add that to our card base. So we're just gonna add that with our Stampin' Seal. Nothing fancy here. Just our regular adhesive. Any adhesive you use will work. This is good and sticky. And we're gonna adhere that right to the card base. So, simple card, really you're just using the paper and the dies to their fullest. Not even stamping. But there are some great sentiments you can stamp on the inside using that set. So, that set comes also in the holiday catalog. That's going to be on page 45 where it starts with this gorgeous designer paper. We use the Gilded Autumn paper, and that's what I used to cut for the card front here. Gorgeous! And then we also use the brushed metallic cardstock. That's what we use to make our leaves. And there's 3 different colors here. There's kind of a really light brass color, there's kind of a darker brass, and then kind of a copper color. So really, really beautiful. And then we used the Gather Together bundle. So this is the bundle that we used to create that card, and it's just gorgeous. As you can see, the dies that come with it are beautiful. The total on that is $38.50, and that comes with the stamps and the dies. So hard to beat that one. Love, love, love that one. Now, if you want to get any of this for free, one way you can do it is host your own party. So just like I'm doing online on our page, I'll set up a Facebook page just for you, and we'll invite a bunch of your friends, and you can host your own party right through the Facebook link. It's a lot of fun. I get them engaged. I have lots of posts, lots of prizes, and of course, that means you as a host get all the credit. So that's a great way to earn some of these free items, or some of these items as well that you are finding you love today. All right, I'm gonna log off. Make sure you go in and check our posts. I'm gonna post the directions and all the supplies to make these and the pictures, and I'll be back on in a little bit with some more Christmas cards. I'll see you soon.